Great guys? All right. Hi, everyone, and good evening to Candidates Forum tonight. This is Greg Slotsky here, along with Aaron Rygren. I'm with KCAG and Polar Digital Solutions. Aaron with the Cherokee Chronicle Times, and we'll be asking the questions tonight for both the sheriff's portion of the forum and the county supervisor's portion as well. So looking forward to hearing from both candidates, getting to know them better here as this primary approaches. Big thank you to our fine sponsors for making this possible, starting with Ringwood Schubert Funeral Home, Longden Painting Company, Gustafson Realty, North Star Community Credit Union, and of course a huge thank you to Mud on Main as well for allowing this event to happen here on location. So really looking forward to getting to know all of the candidates very, very well here tonight. So as far as the next hour goes on the sheriff's side of things, we'll be getting to know Sheriff Derek Scott and candidate Zach Smith. The structure is going to be as follows. Now we'll give each candidate 2 minutes to give an intro statement about themselves and why they're running. Each candidate will have a 2-minute outro statement as well at the end of the hour. Each candidate will be given a minute and a half to answer the questions that are asked to them, and both candidates will answer each question and will alternate who goes first each time. So that's how it goes so far. If it's determined that someone's answer involves the other candidate at a fairly consistent level, the other will have an opportunity for a 1-minute rebuttal as well. And this goes with the sheriff's and the supervisor's races. So we thank everyone for submitting the questions as well. Aaron and I went through them. There were a lot of fantastic questions. When compiling the questions to ask both candidates, we did go with the questions that contained issues relevant to both so that both could indeed answer the questions to the best of their ability consistently there. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and we can go ahead and start things off with Zach first with his 2-minute statement as to a little bit about himself and why he's running. I'll start the timer and go ahead and go there, and then Derek, you will follow. So, go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you all for coming. My name is Zach Smith. I'm born and raised in Cherokee. Here I attended school. Growing up, my parents are business owners through here. Have always been around. After high school, went off to college for a couple years. Throughout high school, I rode along with the Cherokee Police Department. That's what really got me involved in law enforcement. Really enjoyed what I got to do with them. While I was in college, I come back and tested for the police department here in Cherokee. Got a job offer, come back, taking it. Now I've been here for 9 years. Throughout my career at the police department, I've been doing field training. I'm a firearms instructor. I've been part of the CERT team with the Sioux County Sheriff's Office, Morris Police Department, Plymouth County Sheriff's Office, Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, and the Cherokee Police Department for about 8 years now. On the CERT team, I've been through quite a few classes to do that. I'm also a certified preacher for them, which brings a lot of training experience for that kind of stuff. Throughout my career, I've had the ability to work with a lot of different people, a lot of different agencies. That's one thing I really enjoy doing, is working with all the different agencies, and I believe I have a great working relationship with all of them. And the reason why I'm running for Cherokee County Sheriff's is just got some input from some of the other people that work around here, just looking for some change and looking to help out, maybe bring a little different perspective to the sheriff's office, and kind of go from there. I enjoy working with everybody there at the sheriff's office. It's been great. I want to have a better relationship through our departments.
Go ahead, finish your sentence. You're good.
That's good. Yeah, I just want to have a better relationship through our departments and hopefully work well together.
Okay, thank you, Zach. And Sheriff Derek Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you all for coming. My name is Derek Scott. I am the current sheriff of Cherokee County. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Cherokee. Graduated high school from here. After high school, I went to University in Salt Lake. Graduated there early. After that, I went to work for the prison and and the Central Training Unit in Cherokee. After that, I saw an ad in the newspaper for a deputy position for the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. I applied and was hired in 2013. I've been there ever since. 7 years ago, or I spent 7 years as a deputy. And 3 years ago, I ran for sheriff. I was elected sheriff in the lower office in 2021. I married my wife in 2017. She's been my rock through this whole thing, and as a deputy, as a sheriff, she's a great support system. We welcomed our son Emmett in 2019. We live on a small acreage outside of Cherokee. We have a whole bunch of animals and a lot of love out there. So. But why I'm running for sheriff, I want to continue on doing. I think that we've come a long ways in the last 3 years. We've implemented new equipment, body cameras, tasers. We have done a lot with employee retention, our presence in the community. I like to lead by example. I am heavily involved in the community. I am on the Suicide Prevention Coalition. I also volunteer with the church. I volunteer in different aspects around town. The Sheriff's Office structure, what I oversee, 20 employees. We have 6 in the comm center, 6 in the jail, 7 deputies. Barb, who's my secretary, and my civil deputy, and then myself. That is kind of what the Sheriff's Office structure looks like. As I said, I want to continue to grow with the Sheriff's Office. I want to continue to work with the agencies around us. We have a great working relationship with the PD in town, with other sheriff's agencies throughout Northwest Iowa.
Everybody?
No rather.
Okay, thank you, Sheriff Scott. Okay, I guess since Zach started with the intro, we can go ahead and start the first question with Derek, and we'll hand it over here to Aaron.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming and thank you for submitting your questions. We got a lot of really great ones, like I said. This first question actually comes from an 11-year-old in the county who wants to know, what does it mean to you to be the sheriff?
That is a great question. The sheriff, what it means to me to be a sheriff, the sheriff is the highest police authority in the county. The sheriff is elected by the people to represent the people. The sheriff is the only law enforcement in the county that is elected by the people. The sheriff has a lot of responsibilities and a lot of power. What it means is I had already said that I oversee the jail, the comm center, and the deputies to make sure that things are going smoothly down there. I make sure that I'm in charge of hiring and maintaining employment down there and maintaining morale down there. I'm also in charge of protecting the citizens of Cherokee County, making sure that you guys feel safe when you sleep at night, upholding the Constitution. That's a very important job of the sheriff, is to uphold that Constitution and make sure that your rights are protected no matter what. If you do some research and look into the history of the sheriff and what the sheriff's powers are, it's really interesting. I often sit back and read about what the sheriffs do throughout the country, throughout Iowa, and see how they manage their employees, how they manage their counties. But a lot of power with the sheriff and a lot of responsibility with the sheriff. But the sheriff is a very, very important person within the community.
1 second, please, Zach. Good. Okay, whenever you're ready. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Same question you got.
Okay. What it means to be the sheriff to me is, once again, like Derek said, you're the highest authority in the county. Okay? With that being said, you got a lot of weight on your shoulders. You have to show up for a good example, especially for our youth. And to do that, I believe, being involved in all the communities, having your deputies be involved and showing these kids right from wrong, helping these kids out. It's not always about, getting people in trouble or whatever, So to be the sheriff, just to help out throughout the communities, throughout the town, local police departments, just be a helping hand to everybody, as well as your employees. Make sure that they're doing the right thing and go from there. But also have people in charge to assist you. it's not a one-man show. We need help from everybody. And I believe having supervisors throughout the sheriff's office can help with that. So other than that, yeah, just to be a good example to everybody and show the kids, some adults, that's right.
Okay. Thank you, Zach. And, okay. Okay. Zach, this then will be the question for you here. We will now ask, budgets are tight right now. What experience do you have in negotiating funding from a governing body and designing and implementing a budget from the funding for a department or anything that you have done, in life?
For me, I've never been involved in anything like that. The way I look at it is being a small business owner throughout most of my career at the police department is, obviously I have to budget my own money as well to be successful in that aspect of life as well. But that will all be a learning experience for me. And just going through and money's tight right now for everybody. And we all hopefully understand that. But to just go through and get the deputies, and get your employees the right things, the correct training, and spend that money as wisely as possible, to me is what's important. Might have to say no to some things just because of the money issues throughout the county, throughout the city. We see it as well as the police departments. Budgets are tight. But just there's help out there to, people to help you do that as well. But be a learning experience for me.
Okay. Thank you. One second, please, there. Okay. And the same question to you.
Yeah, so the budgets are really tight right now within the county. This next budget year, our line items are frozen from what they were this year. So we have a lot of work to do in order to keep this budget healthy and maintained. The last 3 years, I have maintained a healthy budget. I have over a $2 million budget. Granted, a lot of that is wages, but I still have to maintain that budget. I negotiate every year with the Board of Supervisors. The last 3 years, I have been up there fighting for my employees to get better wages. I believe that with an employee that is paid well and treated well, they stick around. We need these good employees to stay within Cherokee County. With all that being said, this year we have a little bit of surplus in budget, so we're ordering new equipment right now because next year is going to be so tight. So that's part of maintaining a healthy budget as well as seeing what we have this year and planning for the years ahead. But I do have experience with the budget. I work closely with Barb Saber. She has been with the Sheriff's Office for over 40 years. She has been a lifesaver with the budget. She knows the budget in and out and has taught me immensely what it means to budget properly for the Sheriff's Office.
Thank you. We have a minute.
Okay.
So our next question, we're going to start with you, Derek, is what is your definition of results for this position? How are they measured and assessed?
My results for this position, as in,
Like, what would you deem a success?
okay. One of the things that I deem as a success in my department or in the Sheriff's Office is how we're maintaining staff. We have maintained a lot of staff over the last year, and I think that is the thing that has been really good about the Sheriff's Office. Another success, I think, in the last 3 years, we have done a lot of equipment within the Sheriff's Office. The deputies have 3C body cameras. We are going to have all the tasers within the department, new firearms, new vests. We also have new programming coming to the comm center. I think all that is success because it better protects my citizens within Cherokee County and it better serves us. A lot of equipment, a lot of work that has been done. I'm proud of.
Thank you. Zach, the same question is going to go to you. So, What is your definition of results, showing results for this position, and how are they measured and assessed? Go ahead.
So, to me, the success throughout the sheriff's office would be, having people throughout the sheriff's office also be involved in helping. Whether it's grant writing, getting new equipment, all that kind of stuff. The not having any supervisors and stuff like that, it does make it hard for some of the other employees. And truthfully, to be successful, I believe you need to have some supervisors in there to overlook other people and keep things rolling throughout the concern, throughout the jail. And just have that person that's going to help the sheriff's office be more successful. But yeah, just keep the equipment up to date. We're hoping to have results throughout your career.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Zach, we'll go ahead and keep it here with you. Other counties post an inmate roster on their websites showing the photos and charges for inmates of the jail. Is this something that you would ever consider doing? Second here. Is this something you would ever consider doing to keep the public more informed? And give me 1 second, please. Yep. Go ahead.
That doesn't really bother me if that's something that, we have a lot of take on from people wanting to see. Truly, it's all public information. It all goes in the paper. It all goes in there. It's just one other thing that you have to manage and have somebody there to update that constantly for you. And with being a small department, that could be hard, but it's definitely doable, and I don't see a problem with it. A lot of counties also put out their warrants and stuff. But once again, it's all public information. If that's what people want to see, then I don't have an issue with that.
Okay, thank you. And Barrett, same question to you as far as in the future something you would consider. And give us 1 second, please.
Yes, it is something I would consider. Currently, we have mobile patrol, and a lot of people have that app on their phones, and that is linked right to our jail roster. So you can log on mobile patrol currently and see the inmates that are within the Cherokee County Jail. If we want to do something on our website, that is something that I certainly could do. We can implement that almost right away. Nothing has ever been said to me by any of my citizens that they want something like that, but I certainly could if someone is interested in that, because as Zach said, it is public knowledge. But I do think it is the public right to know who is in jail and who is receiving charges. So yeah, something I would consider.
Thank you. So next question, I'm going to start with you, Derek. With there being shortages of 911 dispatchers in the nation and 3 counties and state radio all hiring and paying more around Cherokee County, how do you plan to retain and attract future dispatchers?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, Cherokee County is one of the lowest paid counties within Northwest Iowa. The last 3 years, I have fought hard to get wages increased for our dispatchers. They have a very important job. When anyone calls 911, it's going to go right to the dispatch, and you want that good help on the other end of that line. Retaining has been an issue in the past, and hopefully it will be addressed in the future. The things I have done to help retain dispatchers is we did a new schedule, so they work 8 days on and have 6 days off with every other weekend off. All the dispatchers seem to like that. Another thing that we have done is we have certain shifts that they work now. We changed it so 2 dispatchers are full-time days and 2 dispatchers are full-time nights. We have 2 floaters in there. The night dispatchers want to work straight night shifts, and it seems like that helped morale too within the department. The night shifters are happy, the day shifters are happy. I also never deny time off for any of the dispatchers. If they have time to use, they are always approved, whether it be comp time, vacation time. So having that time away from work is essential in keeping morale up and keeping employees here. As sheriff, you only have so many things that you can do within the office besides, you have no control over the money aspect of what they make. The one thing that you can control is the schedule and the morale, the happiness within your department, and how you do that without controlling money is often a challenge. But I think we're doing a good job of it, and I look forward to continuing to do that job.
Thank you, Zach. Same question to you.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. With there being shortages of 911 dispatchers in the nation and 3 counties and state radio all hiring and paying more around Cherokee County, how do you plan to retain and attract future dispatchers?
Well, yeah, that's difficult. As throughout my career, I've been here, as I have been here, I've watched dispatchers go to state radio and make quite a bit more money. But to keep people here, once again, you have to have a good department, have something that everybody enjoys coming to, and just treat them the best you can. It's going to be hard to keep people just because of the money aspect, especially through dispatching. You'd like to see some younger people get in there, but unfortunately, all these younger people are chasing money as well. So when a better job opening comes, hopefully there's something that you can offer to help keep them here. I kind of know that the wages of Cherokee County's dispatchers, and yes, they are low. Just the fact that you can't really do nothing to keep them here, it's kind of not so great for us. But just offering different trainings and stuff to keep them interested in the job would be also another thing to try to do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Zach, we'll go ahead and keep the microphone here with you. Zach, what expectations do you have for the employees of the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office?
Expectations would be to be very productive. With the ever-changing law enforcement, feels like we have to be somewhat more reactive than proactive when it comes to certain things. And I'd like to see just more interaction with the community and stuff like that. Like I always said, that one traffic stop, that one contact with one person can change somebody's day. We're not out there to be bad people. We're out there to do the right thing, to uphold the Iowa laws, the Constitution, and stuff like that. And I just want the guys to go out there and do that kind of thing. Help people. It's not all about taking people to jail and stuff like that. But yeah, just to be able to have the guys go out there and be proactive as much as possible would be great.
Okay, thank you. And Derek, just to repeat the question, what expectations do you have for the employees of the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office?
I have a very high expectation of the employees of the Sheriff's Office. This is one thing I struggle with. I was just talking to my wife about this the other night. I expect perfection, but I know that my employees are human and they cannot be perfect. This is what the community expects out of us. We have a very important job to do. When that 911 phone rings in the comm center, they want that good, that good help on the other end of that line. They want someone that's going to respond, be helpful. Same thing with deputies. They have to be spot on all the time. It's a dangerous job that they do. They need to be perfect, but I understand that they're not perfect. We're all human. We all make errors, but very high expectations throughout the Sheriff's Office, and my employees are aware of that and know what I expect.
Okay, thank you. Aaron.
We're going to start with you. What do you think can be done to help with the mental health crisis, and how will you as a sheriff combat these issues?
That's a great question. Iowa is actually 50 out of 50 in mental health. We are last in the state. There's a lot of work to be done with the mental health. I believe I have made steps forward as sheriff to help with the mental health system. I have set up a meeting with local sheriffs within Northwest Iowa, along with Director Garcia of the Department of Health and Human Services, addressing our concerns as sheriffs in the mental health system. One thing that is frustrating as a sheriff is we do mental health transports. So we are taking people that are in mental health crisis across the state of Iowa. When we have a mental health right that puts that person in more distress to transport them 5 hours across the state when we can just bring them up here and get them the help they need right away. So those issues were addressed with Director Garcia. Superintendent Corey Turner was also within the meeting, and we talked about what we can do to better the citizens of Cherokee County and the citizens of Iowa. Another thing that I help out with is I sit on the Suicide Prevention Coalition. We're also talking about ways that we can do better with committals, mental health committals throughout that process. So if someone is experiencing a mental health crisis, typically their family goes and fills out a committal form, and then we go pick them up as deputies. We're looking at different ways to do this so that they are not shocked to have 2 deputies knock on their door when they're already in a mental health crisis. It's dangerous for our deputies, and it's dangerous for that person. We want the best help that we can get.
Zach, just to repeat the question, what do you think can be done to help with the mental health crisis, and how will you, as a sheriff, combat these issues?
Well, mental health is obviously a huge thing, not only in Iowa, throughout the United States. So, throughout my career, I've seen a lot and stuff like that. And unfortunately, it starts at the state helping us. Just giving them different ideas to get people in mental health. Being at the police departments, we cover all the calls at the MHI. And unfortunately, it's usually a lot of times the same people that get released get back in. So it kind of just shows how our mental health system is feeling. Just different ideas to try to do that. What the ideas are, I don't know. I mean, it's going to take a team of people and help from the state to actually do something to make this better. Once again, the mental health crisis is super dangerous for deputies, for police officers. When we get that call to go check on somebody that's in that crisis, stuff can go south fast. Whether they're not happy. Unfortunately, nobody wants to have 1 or 2 cops come knock on their door. So just being able to help and voice your opinion and shoot different ideas out there to hopefully have the state step up and help with that issue.
Okay, thank you very much, and we'll get on here with the next question, but big thanks again to Mud on Main for hosting this event. If you're just joining us online, and of course here, welcome to this candidates forum. The county supervisors will follow, and again, a big thanks to Mud on Main for sponsoring and for hosting this event. So just wanted to pass that along as well. So Zach, you have the microphone here for being first on this question. Zach Smith, what is your opinion of the new law passed this legislative session to allow school districts to arm staff with minimal training?
I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not going to say I'm against arming staff, but my idea of arming staff is the expectations are going to be crazy high. As being a SWAT officer and being on the team and doing those high-risk calls and stuff like that, putting somebody in that situation, I would not. They would have to have the same training that we have. I just think that is not really possible for the schools to do. Constantly training, going through to clear buildings, all that sort of different things. But in the other aspect of it, we're all about protecting our house, protecting our land, protecting our property. But I feel like we don't do much to protect our kids. One thing that is awesome that the city of Cherokee did is do the school resource officer. It's been great. I believe our resource officer does a great job. He has a very good relationship with the kids. If you don't have that with the kids, you go in there and they might get a different officer every single time. And just having that relationship and that security at the school does help. But just with the teachers being it's going to take a lot of training, not just going to school.
Okay, thank you. And Derek Scott.
So my stance has been the same with this throughout the whole discussion of the arming staff. I believe that the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. That's the only way that's going to stop it. With that being said, Army staff carries a lot of responsibility. You have to look at that staff that you're arming. You have to make sure that they're competent to carry that firearm and to get that shot. It is a very tricky situation that you are going into. This training involved would be extensive, as Adam said, to make this happen. I'm not totally against it. I'm not totally for it. With training, they are going to have to train with deputies and train with law enforcement officers. They're going to have, as that said, probably training that almost exceeds what our training is, because they're going to be working with our children in these buildings. And if they have to take a shot, they have to make sure that their shot is going to be on target. There's no excuse for it not. I have read the new legislation that came out. It kind of lays out the training for these teachers and for these staff and what they have to do and the requirements for that. It's a step. I'm not saying it's a step in the right direction, but it's a step to make this process move. With that being said, I'm not totally for it, I'm not totally against it, but I think that, as I said, the only way to stop a bad guy is to get it. I firmly believe that our students and our teachers deserve a safe place to learn and to work.
Thank you. All right. So I'm going to start with you, Derek. What is your experience in managing employees?
So I have been managing employees of the Sheriff's Office the last 3.5 years. As I said, I maintain a staff of 6 full-time dispatchers, 6 full-time jailers, 7 deputies, and Barb, who is my secretary and civil deputy. This experience comes from hiring these people, to disciplining these people, to terminating these people if I have to. I work with every one of them very closely. They know that I am the leader in the Sheriff's Office, and I am someone that they can come to. I try my very best to make the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office a great place to work. I want to make sure that these people are enjoying to come to work. We have a very tough job to do, as I said. Between 911 dispatch, between the jail, you get difficult inmates, deputies get difficult calls with citizens out in the community. It's a very, very tough job, and managing this and keeping the personalities at bay is sometimes a challenge that even makes me scratch my head. One thing that I have done is to bounce ideas off other sheriffs throughout Northwest Iowa. They have been very helpful to me to understand what they go through in the situations that help to correct me. So a couple of things that I've done to make the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office work.
Thank you. Zach, same question. What is your experience in managing employees?
Managing employees like throughout a sheriff's office or police department, I truly don't have any experience with. The only experience I have with managing employees is through my own personal business, and just holding them accountable, making sure that they're doing the right thing, making sure they're doing a job well done. And that's what I look for. Just do the right thing the first time. Do the right thing, period. I don't want to be a difficult person, but if somebody's not doing something right, it needs to be addressed and it needs to be taken care of now. That way to get them on the right track. But just to work well with them, I believe, just to manage them and work together will be a great asset to do that.
Okay, thank you very much. I think this, again, is you, Zach. What is one specific goal you would want to achieve as Cherokee County Sheriff?
One thing I would really like to see throughout the Sheriff's Office is one, to have supervisors there to help the other deputies, to help with training, to be, in charge when you can't be there. One thing in law enforcement is you never know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen, and you cannot be there 24/7. But just to have that, other two or other person in charge, to be there to hopefully make the same decision or a similar decision that you would make, and make the right decision, and just be able to rely and count on those people. And I believe it gives the people something, the employees, something to look forward to, to hopefully get that position, to be, fellow supervisor as well. I think that would be huge for them, is to have supervisors give them something to look forward to.
Okay, thank you very much. And Derek, I will ask the same question. What is one specific goal you would want to achieve as the Cherokee County Sheriff?
So one goal that I have always struggled for is to have my citizens feel safe when they go to bed at night. I want everyone in Cherokee County to have that sense of safety. And I think that comes from the Sheriff's Office and the employees there. Keeping these employees, as I said, is huge into keeping you guys safe. Everyone in Cherokee County should go to bed feeling safe at night. It's just a goal, and I think it's a realistic goal to have. Recently, I had a citizen come up to me and tell me that they felt safe because I am sheriff, and that was a good feeling to have, because I think that we are doing a good job of keeping these employees and keeping crime at bay.
Thank you. So we are going to ask our final question, and then you'll each be given a 2-minute wrap-up. Okay? So our final question is, in light of a recent Amber Alert that started in another part of the state and ended up here in Northwest Iowa, what is the importance of the relationship between the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office and other county sheriffs in our area?
The relationship between us and other county sheriffs is huge. I work closely with Sheriff DeBrank in Clinton County, and Sheriff Van Voorst in Sioux County, Sheriff Anderson in Lyon County. They're all mentors for me, and I bounce ideas off them all the time. When we come together and we work together, we can do great things. I was there at that Amber Alert that night. I watched Sheriff DeBrank take charge of that situation. He was running instant command, and I learned a lot just by sitting back and watching. Over the years, over my tenure as a sheriff, or in the sheriff's office, I have worked with different sheriffs. I've worked with O'Brien, Beebe, Woodbury, all the surrounding counties, and we work great together. As I said, when the sheriffs come together, great things happen. And we meet quarterly to discuss ideas and to work together to see what we can do better as sheriffs and to better serve our citizens.
Thank you. Zach, the same question to you. Do you want me to read it? In light of a recent Amber Alert that started in another part of the state and ended up here in Northwest Iowa, what is the importance of the relationship between the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office and other county sheriffs in our area?
The relationship is huge. Just to be able to rely on each other. To be honest with you, I was on the takedown team for the Amber Alert, and just having the chief of police from Lamar's in the front seat of that Bearcat when we were in there to relay the information to the other sheriffs that were there, and stuff like that, and listening to the sheriff to really take control of the scene is big. That relationship that could have been Cherokee County, that could have been Woodbury County, that could be any county surrounding us, and just to be relied on by the other sheriffs and the other officers as well, to be a good person, to make sure that you're there to do the right thing. Very unfortunate situation, but I think everybody that night did great, and just watching the sheriffs work together. Woodbury County Sheriff was there, and just watching them all come together and work together is huge, and I look forward to doing that myself as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Zach. We will go ahead and keep the microphone with you, and you can go ahead and give us a 2-minute summary here to wrap things up. Again, want to sum up about yourself while you're running, tell the voters a little more. Go ahead, and we will start the timer.
Perfect. Well, once again, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. I appreciate the vote on June 4th here for the primary election. And I look forward to working with the communities throughout Cherokee County, to being involved with the other sheriffs and working close with the chief of Cherokee, implementing new things, to have the community involved, to get our deputies involved in all the other counties, or not other counties, all the other towns, just to make their case known. I just want them to be known because they're going to be the ones that are going to respond to the calls. More than likely it's not going to be the sheriff on the first on scene. So I just look forward to implementing new things and working with other departments, working with local, state, and federal departments, and just hopefully have a good outcome.
Okay, thank you very much. And Derek, same goes for you. Just a 2-minute summary, outro, and whenever you're ready.
Yes, I just want to say again, thank you for coming. I love this community. I love being the sheriff of Cherokee County. I love what I do, and I want to continue to do it. I think that we have come a long ways in the last 3.5 years, and I look forward to the next 4 years as your sheriff and see where we can go from there. We have a lot of good things in the works. We have a lot of good employees that work for the sheriff's office. And there's a lot of good things that have happened. We, as I said, got the equipment. We are pushing our employees to be better and to be the best that we can be. I feel like I have pushed the sheriff's office out of our comfort zone and to become the best sheriff's office around. We struggle with being paid enough, in my opinion, our employees, but that's something I look forward to working on as well, is increasing employee morale, employee benefits, employee wages, to be the best that we can be. We keep these good people here and to better serve you as citizens of Cherokee County.
Okay, thank you so much. How about a round of applause for both? How about a round of applause as well for Merle May, because hosting the event here as well. Thanks to Merle May. Thanks to our county sponsors for making this possible here on Digital Solutions and with the Cherokee Chronicle Times and with KCHE, Greenwood Schubert Funeral Home, Mongan Painting Company, Gustafson Realty, and at North Star Community Credit Union. So, Aaron, what we're going to do here, we have a little bit of time. We're going to get some of the chairs squared away. Probably take a little bit of a break, because we had mentioned that at 6:30 we need to start time for the county supervisor. Here, so the appointing supervisors here shortly, District 1 contested race and District 5 contested race. And we'll talk shortly about the candidates there, but very, very by both candidates. Any questions that apply to both? Looking forward to the second portion So there's always a rotation of who starts first. Got it? That makes sense. So Steph, you'll probably answer that question. So if you want to Steph, gets the first question.
Let me use my genie powers.
Okay, welcome back to the second portion of our candidates forum here tonight at Mud on Main. And I'll tell you what, a great first forum there with the sheriff's candidates. And Aaron Ragland joins us of the Cherokee Chronicle Times. Ray Slotsky here with KCHE and Fuller Digital Solutions. And we have 7 candidates for Cherokee County Supervisor up on the stage here. And a big shout out to the Bookbind for getting us our 7th stool. And Aaron, nice job getting over there.
That's right.
Scamper all the way over. Nicely done. Nicely done. So I'm going to go ahead and read off our candidates in no particular order up on stage, but just to read off in District 1, incumbent Rick Mongan and Chad Brown and Ray Mullins, the candidates. And in District 5, joining us tonight, Matt Aguirre, also Shane Belfi, Craig Schmidt, and Stephanie Czar. And so what we're going to do is we're going to we'll start with Matt from an alphabetical standpoint, kind of the same as the sheriff's forum. We're going to let every candidate give a 2-minute intro on why they are running for supervisor. And then after that, we will, whoever went first with the question will then go last. The next question, we'll start with the next candidate first on the following question. So we'll basically be passing the mic down the whole entire time since there's so many candidates. And it'll be smooth and easy, and we'll be good to go. So if you're just joining us, each candidate will have the 2 minutes for the intro. We give you a 2-minute outro as well for all of you, just to kind of sum up the night, or again, one more chat at the voters, whatever you want to use it for. Each question that's asked of you, you will get a minute and a half to respond. We're keeping the timer here, and if anyone's name is brought up substantially as far as in someone else's answer, we will go ahead and allow a 1-minute rebuttal should that get to that point. So that'll work. And I guess with that said, we can get rocking and rolling here. So Matt Aguirre, go ahead, please, and fire away as to your 2-minute intro.
Hello, I'm Matt Aguirre. I was born here in Cherokee County, up here at the hospital. I attended high school here at Washington High, where I met my wife for the past, coming up on 10 years now, this July. She blessed us with 2 beautiful children that we've raised here in Cherokee County also. I've been a member of the Cherokee Fire Department for the past 2 years now, a little over, and I go through a lot of trainings with them, and I spend a lot of time throughout the community with the Sheriff's Department, Police Department, and with them, with our youth at the schools and job fairs and things like that. I decided to run for supervisor because there's things that I don't agree with that are going on in the county, and the best way to do something about something you don't agree with is to step up and say something and try to fix it yourself, or to try to shed light on things, different aspects, different light on a younger opinion, I could say. So that's kind of why I decided to step up. I'm new to this whole thing. I'm new to the public speaking, the whole atmosphere of it. So I think that's been fun to kind of navigate, and I want to continue to learn and see what my community does and how it operates, and get to know more of the people that work within it and live within the community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And Stephanie Czar.
Well, my name is Stephanie Czar, as Greg has, I guess, already announced, but I have always had public service at the forefront of my mind in everything that I do. I love Cherokee, I love our community, and I think that, as Matt said, we don't have very many young people that are stepping up and volunteering to do some of these different, like to run for these different offices. And we, as young people, have ideas to grow our community, and if we're not growing, you're not just staying the same, you're probably going backwards. So that is something that I really look forward to making an impact as far as that goes, moving our community forward. I also have grown up in Cherokee. My roots are very deep. And my family, I have 3 boys now, 10, 8, and 15 months, and my husband Steve and I are raising them here, and I am just really excited and honored for the opportunity to even be in front of you all this evening. So, thank you.
Okay, Shane Belfi.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shane Belfi, 1990 graduate of WHS. My family and I moved back here in 2019. We're vested in the community. We have 4 great kids that are involved in our school district, and I got a loving wife that is behind the scenes keeping not only me and everything else in line. Giving back to the community, giving back to our great county has always been imperative, no matter where I live. Growing and being raised in Cherokee, I know what the residents of Cherokee County are built of. And, you know, not that I sat on the sidelines when we moved back, but I was involved in various boards at state and national levels. But when we moved back, my priorities at that time were, of course, getting something back down to our great community that we call home, that we're going to be here. But, you know, things can change. And after sitting back, and it's great to see so many young, new candidates coming out, I was approached by Dwayne Mummert, whose seat is actually open for this spot. Kind of got involved, started going to a couple supervisors meetings to learn. I understand the importance of working and having a great team around you. Those are some of the things that I've been taught. But most important, I also know from being outside of Cherokee County how fortunate we are and what we have. But with that being said, we have a lot more work to do. We got a lot of new younger families coming back. That's a great thing to see. But with that being said, I'll say that we still have a lot more work to do. The reason I stepped in is with my past experience, I feel that the time is now for me to step in and to lead the way that I've been taught. You know, again, there was a lot of different things that have been brought up earlier tonight, but some things changed also in our political landscape within our county. We used to be represented not only by a state senator, but a state representative. That's a big thing to me, that we need to be more imperative. So anyways, look forward to asking the questions, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Shane. And Rick Longden. No, you're on.
Sorry. Rick Mongan, I first became supervisor about 11 years ago. During that time, probably all but 3 years, I've either been a vice chair or a chairman of the Board of Supervisors. As chairman of the supervisors, I spend a lot more time than I do in the courthouse. I mean, I'm out there talking to people. I mow my grass. I'm out there on Highway 3. I got people stopping to talk to me. I try real hard. I grew up in this county, born and raised here. I remember when Cherokee itself had 8,000 plus people. Now we're lucky we only have 11,500 in the whole entire county. So a lot of my years I've been working with economic development on various boards, just trying to bring in more places for people to work, housing, everything like that. The budget season this year, it's taken a lot of time. We got down to the last minute. We kept sending things back to get it redone. I'm not a public speaker, by the way. We've done some different things this year. One of the cost-saving measures, that we had the building down south, call it the Lake House. Once we moved back out of there, we decided that we could use that with the DHS and the JCOs. Spend about $15,000 a year with grant up at the mental health.
Okay, thank you so much, Rick. And now, Ray Mullins.
Yes, I'm Ray Mullins II. I was born and raised here in Cherokee County. I graduated high school. I did move away for about 22 years. Lived down in Gainesville, Georgia, just north of Atlanta. My wife and I and my two boys moved back in 2020. And at that time, I started getting involved with the school board. And then shortly after that, I've been on the Parks and Rec board, which I am working with Mayor Schmidt for quite a bit. So I have a lot of deep roots here. My family's here. My extended family's here. A lot of my friends are still here. I do know that Cherokee is a great place to live, to raise a family. We have excellent community partners. I do look forward to trying to include some of our smaller towns and look to them as more of a partner than trying to exclude them a little bit. So with that said, I just am excited to have a chance to get involved a little bit more than what I have done with the other boards I've been on.
Okay, thank you. And Greg Schmidt.
Welcome everyone. It's so nice to see this crowd of folks. I listen to people also on the radio listening in, which it's great to see this kind of interest in a position such as being on supervisors. Again, I'm Craig Schmidt. Most of you know me. I've born and raised here, graduated from Iowa, and took off, decided to go see the world, I guess. I spent a year in Chicago, making the Fed with some of $8,100 a year. I don't need to brag. And then off to, I worked so hard in Chicago, I was able to transfer to Charlotte, North Carolina. A city that I love. We lived there for 20 years. My daughters and their granddaughters are there in Charlotte. A move was made into Miami, Florida for 5 years. Which didn't quite work out because I had 6 years of Spanish, but I still didn't speak the language. So it was over to Cape Coral, Florida, of which one of my wife has passed away. Tired of Florida, came back to Cherokee. It's amazing the respect and that you get for your upbringing here. You really don't know it while you're going through it, but everything that you're learning, your values, morals, whatever it might be, serves you so well, no matter what other city you might be in. I was fortunate enough to marry my wonderful wife, Mike Allen, who has been also my campaign manager, so I have to be real careful here. She is just a wonderful person. I married father on my station. I don't deny that. Why supervisors? As you all know, most of you all know, I'll be ending up my second term of mayor. I have the time. My children are grown, and I have the time in order to do the job as adequately as it needs to be done.
Okay, thank you so much. And now, Chad Brown.
A little bit about me. I'm Chad Brown. If you don't know me, most everybody here does. I was born and raised here, graduated in 1996 from Washington High School, went to Iowa State, came back in 2000. Started farming with my uncle for 5 years, and then decided to go to a different career path, got into conservation, and then I worked with the Conservation Board for 15 years. got involved in local politics kind of by accident. Linda Burkhardt at the time was going to give up her seat for city council, and they just put a new street in front of my house, and I was actually excited about it. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go see what I can do, because I really want my kids to come back, because I had young kids at the time too. So I ran against a couple people for local politics in 2011, won a council seat, and I served on the Cherokee City Council for going on 12 years until I moved outside the district, and I couldn't serve on it anymore. I thought it would be a natural fit to run for the Board of Supervisors, because I had worked with a lot of people. I've been on various boards, committees, groups, worked with pretty much everybody on the stage here, various community organizations. I think Cherokee County is a great place. I think I have a lot to contribute. Well, that's all I'll say. I'm not a big public speaker either.
Okay. So we're going to start. Okay. So we're going to start with the question portion now. So if you could hand the microphone back to Stephanie. Okay. Now, all of you will be asked the same questions. If you need us to reread it, just let us know. So the first question is, what do you feel the biggest issue is within Cherokee County right now, and how do you plan on addressing that issue?
Well, that's a chicken or the egg answer, actually. So I think as far as if we're talking about growth and economic growth, it's either what comes first, the housing for the people or the jobs for the people. There's problems with both. Personally, I think that we need to have housing first, and how you get that going, I'm not sure how you would, other than to encourage investors to get involved and get some housing going, which we do have some really great things in the works, especially right here in Cherokee, as far as different apartment complexes and such that are being remodeled. Like there's some buildings being remodeled, as well as potential for, they could spend cable for hot minute, but we have some new buildings that are going to be coming up in Cherokee also. If you have if employers see that there is a place for people to move into, and because they're going to have, they know when they're looking at our community that they're going to have to poach their labor force, because we have such a low unemployment rate here in our community. So we're going to have to bring people in if there's going to be a large factory type deal that comes in. But I think that we need to look at how we're going to address housing.
All right, I lied. I'm going to keep reading the question. Okay, so Shane, what do you feel the biggest issue is within Cherokee County right now, and how do you plan on addressing that issue?
Well, first and foremost, I think we need to look at how we do things within our county. I feel that right now, and I'm not saying it with certain groups or boards, but not with the word stagnant. I think there's a lot of questions you can ask here in the sheriff that we sit back and we wait for policy to be put together in the morning that comes across our desk. And until we're more engaged at that level and have a voice down there to help our representatives, I think we're in a retroactive state of mind. I don't mean that. But with that being said, I think we have a lot of young, bright, you just had the youngest sheriff up here, you had another young person running. We got a lot of bright things going on. During this process, and what I've done is went out and met with some of the regional, the managers or the directors in our county. We have a lot of bright young people coming to Cherokee County. With that, we have to attract and retain these individuals. You heard some of it tonight with some of the issues that we're facing with benefits and pay. GDP's at 3.5. You can look at bonuses. That stuff's all out there. We have to be more innovative with our benefit policy potentially, with our not only state but with our county workers in order to help attract and retain or retain some of that stuff. We're all fighting salary things. Getting to the housing side, I think we got a lot of great things going on. I can't speak, but I know there's some things going on each side of town that potentially could be an opportunity. With that, we have to also understand where we're at with the incentives, and I think our economic group's doing a pretty good job with working with that. So anyways, that's some of the stuff that I would focus on.
Thanks. Rick, what do you feel the biggest issue is within Cherokee County right now, and how do you plan on addressing that issue?
I'm in agreement. Our biggest issue right now is getting employees, whether it's county employees or employees for construction or whatever. Economic development, you can work on something for years before a client shows up. And we've been plugging away at different things, and we finally have an apartment complex that's going to be coming to town. We've worked with the land down there with their addition. We thought 2 or 3 times we probably had the old Wilson Foods building taken care of, and we do have somebody in there, but we're still not using the full building. It'd be nice to keep moving forward on that. That's about it.
Okay, thank you. Ray, same question to you. What do you feel the biggest issue is within Cherokee County right now, and how do you plan on addressing that issue?
Growth is a big issue, and everything that they have said is part of that. And I believe that working with our local economic boards and stuff, I think that there are plenty of ways that we can entice people to come to town. Wages, everybody said wages is a big deal. I think that we need to figure out a way to get some of our local control back. Sharon kind of hit on it a little bit. We've allowed ourselves to rely too much on the government and what they say we can spend our money on, or how much they're going to give us. Cherokee is a great place. We have some of the great industries here, and we just need to figure out how we can cultivate more of that and keep the people engaged here.
Thank you. Craig, what do you feel the biggest issue is within Cherokee County right now, and how do you plan on addressing that issue?
Well, obviously, the big star right out there in front is the housing, and it's all one matter of another. You have the housing, you can bring the employees. Many fine companies have come and looked at Cherokee and would love to be here. One even leased a bunch of land, but still the employees and the housing got to them. But there's also another aspect that hasn't been brought up here. In our budget last year, just for the city alone, we were cut over $100,000 out of Des Moines because we were capped at 3.5%. That's going to almost double for next year in the 1975 budget. So housing and employees, all that is yes, that's certainly there, but we have to be doggone aware and know how to work these budgets to the point whereby we continue to live within our means, but also continue to grow.
Thank you. Chad, what do you feel the biggest issue is within Cherokee County right now, and how do you plan on addressing that issue?
The biggest issue facing Cherokee County right now, I think, is housing. We have great employers. We don't necessarily need to bring 50 more huge employers in here because we have great employers that are looking for people. A lot of people choose to leave town to work where they live, and they don't want to commute 30 miles to come here. If we had housing, I think it also stimulated our economy. We wouldn't have the budget shortfalls because if people would be keeping their money in town and spending it here as well. Because if they live in the Mars, they're going to shop in the Mars. Same with Storm Lake. I mean, you see all these towns really, and people are either coming to Cherokee or they're going to Storm Lake, and their money goes both ways. I think the housing would be the biggest benefit to the community because it would keep the people's money here because they're here. They would shop here, they spend their money here, and they pay taxes here. So, like I said, Rick hit on it, where we've been on committees and boards where you're trying to address these housing issues, and they take a lot of time, they take a lot of money, and I think we're going in the right direction with it right now. And I think there's a lot of room for growth within the employers we have.
Thank you. Thanks. So, Arnie Mack, same question to you. What do you feel the biggest issue is within Cherokee County right now, And how do you plan on addressing that issue?
Well, I believe everybody's kind of the nail on the head. You know, it's a housing issue. It's a people issue. We don't have enough people to do the jobs we need. And I saw it in construction, and I see it now working with my friends that you don't have the help. You know, we need young help. The young help goes other places because they want more money. They want things to do. Like me and my wife have kids. There's not a lot to keep younger people around when they don't have things for their kids to do. When you have to travel to go buy things, you have to travel to do things for them. I think the skate park is a great step in the right direction. Bringing our youth things back into town for our youth, where we used to have a bowling alley, a skating rink. We have things to keep them their families here. And I think bringing more things like that into the community will help bring people and want them to stay here and not want to seek those things other places.
Okay, thank you so much, Matt. And Shane now is up first here for this next question. Looking at comparable wages for surrounding counties, do you feel that Cherokee County is comparable? And if not, how do you plan on fixing that issue?
Oh, this is a loaded one with the numbers. I mean, talking to a banker up here that travels the state, depends on how you're working the numbers. I mean, there's stats, there's numbers that are out there. When you do the research, there's counties that only have 3 supervisors, there's counties that have 4. I can tell you I've looked at the numbers, and you know we are pretty efficient. But with that, I think we hit on it in some ways too. We get to the retract and retain. We have to take, you know, I think our best asset within Cherokee County is our people and our youth. And with that, I think if you talk to the business owners, we have to, or we're hearing from them too, it's with employees, retract, retain, how do we do that? And so, in looking at our numbers, I think, you know, I'm not trying to be the sheriffs that were up there, but there's obviously an issue that we're facing, and I know Rick's on it right now. Everybody wants more. Inflation's here. Unfortunately, it's going to be here for probably a little more time. We're all facing the wallet with the rising costs. So we're going to have to take some risks, I feel, with our employees to be stronger with our benefits and our pay. But I think we're also going to have to be innovative on how we look at that. There's 2 things that you can look at. We can lose employees because of money, but what's it cost us to replace that employee in a couple of years?
Okay, thank you very much. Rick, I will ask the question again. Looking at comparable wages for surrounding counties, do you feel that Cherokee County is comparable? And if not, how do you plan on fixing that issue?
Our surrounding counties are bigger than us, and they have more industry, which pays more taxes. And it all falls back again on economic development. We're trying to bring in these organizations so we can get a bigger tax base, we can pay more money. I saw the wages like over in Plymouth County and things like that. It bothers me that we can't pay the group, you know, what we're getting over next door. But we have limited funds, so we're just trying our best to try and find ways to give them something other than just a paycheck. We keep kicking that around every week between ourselves, and we just haven't come up with a good idea yet.
Okay, thank you. And Ray, same thing. Looking at comparable wages for surrounding counties, do you feel that Cherokee County is comparable? And if not, how do you plan on fixing that issue?
Like Rick said, it's hard to compare the counties around us because they are a lot bigger and they have bigger cities in it with a lot of industry. I can speak of the school. I am currently the vice president of the school board. Our school district is actually above average for the state on what we pay. We've worked, the current board and the past board have worked really hard on getting those wages up. It's not where we want to be, but we're stepping in the right direction as far as at the school. I think that Cherokee is doing the best they can right now with what they've got to work with. As far as what's out there, I I'm not well versed on that yet, as far as what's available or how we can get the wages up without a lot of this other stuff happening, you know, the housing, the industry's moving in. So there's a lot of work to be done, but I believe that we could become very competitive with the surrounding counties.
Okay, thank you. And Craig, looking at comparable wages again for surrounding counties, do you feel that Cherokee County is comparable? And if not, how do you plan on fixing that issue?
Well, obviously, we're addressing that issue as best we can. We're talking about dollars here. One of the things that obviously we've done is with Wood College. We've gone ahead with free college for about 8 or 10 different occupations now in order to keep the young people in Cherokee itself. Let's also remember, we're a town of 5,000. And what we have to offer may not be the highest wages. What I've been seeing as mayor is people coming from some of those high wages to come to live in Cherokee. So consequently, if we had a house to put them in, that it'd even be better, that they would like to be here. We're trying to do it from that standpoint, but you have to work with your basic economics. What do you do first? And I think Stephanie said it also, it's the chicken or the egg. You get the housing to bring in the business, to pay the salaries. It's one or the other. Right now, it's inflationary times. We're doing well to hold our own.
Okay, thank you. And Chad, again, looking at comparable wages for surrounding counties, do you feel that Cherokee County is comparable? And if not, how do you plan on fixing that issue?
I would assume you're talking about the county employees themselves for the government of Cherokee County. While I was there, the wages seemed to be comparable. I mean, I served on various wage committees and negotiations with the city to try to determine what was fair for wages. In that respect, we would a lot of times go to wage surveys where we go look at other county, like cities our size and the staffing that they had to see if we actually were comparable. I mean, for the police, a lot of times we couldn't compete with the Iowa State Patrol. It's just not the same job, but they do have the benefit of living in a small town, raising their kids, and they can walk down the street because we have safe streets. I think a lot of it is up to the department heads to bring it to the supervisors, because a lot of times the supervisors aren't micromanaging these offices to make sure that that their staff is paid well. When I was in the county conservation board, a lot of our staff was underpaid, and we had a plan of step increases to try to get them the average of our other counties, because that's exactly who we were competing against. We had 16 Northwest Iowa counties that were competing for staff with, and I knew them, so I would try to make their jobs comparable with people that do their same jobs in other counties.
Okay, and Matt, we will hand the microphone back to you. Again, I will repeat the question. Looking at comparable wages for surrounding counties, do you feel that Cherokee County is comparable? And if not, how do you plan on fixing that issue?
I think for the most part, Cherokee is as comparable as it can be. I don't know the budget, and I don't know how it's run, but from what you gather, they're cutting budgets. So what's not there, you can't give. It's going to take a lot of growing on Cherokee's part of the county before wages and more income can come into disperse. And that's probably the best answer I can give you.
Okay.
Without knowing, the full extent of it all, or of how things are paid. I don't know what other counties make, but for what I knew, what my wife was making while we were there, and it was comparable, and it was fair, I believe, for what the county had to offer. I thought that it was pretty right.
Okay, and then Steph is up now. Looking again at comparable wages for surrounding counties, do you feel that Cherokee County is comparable? And if not, how do you plan on fixing that issue?
In some aspects, we are comfortable because of our size. If our smaller, that's been touched on. It's been brought up that we have great employers in our communities, and we have a great great industry in our communities as well. I guess I would point to what we're doing to cut taxes for those industries, and maybe those industries' taxes are being cut too far and are hindering our budget. That is something that maybe should be considered. As far as my husband works for the county. He's works for the engineer's office, and their office is not comparable to others for his particular job as a tech that works underneath the engineer for something himself. But we have great benefits, and the amount of staff that we have is also comparable, and it's within $1 or $2 per hour compared to Plymouth or EV, but I'm not sure about O'Brien or Ida.
Thank you. We're going to move to the next question, start with Rick. Given that rural counties are often affected by decisions made at the state level, how do you see Cherokee County having more input on these types of executive or legislative decisions?
Well, right now, I think our group of senators and legislators down there, they come back here quite often to meet, and I think right now they're getting the understanding that we need more help. Whether they can push that forward or not, I don't know. Maybe the question again.
Sure. Given that rural counties are often affected by decisions made at the state level, how do you see Cherokee County having more input on these types of executive or legislative decisions?
I think some of it could be done through economic development. Our economic development director has all kinds of people he can call down in Des Moines, kind of lead the charge a little bit for us. Bill has brought the governor in here several times, and a lot of legislators, and we try to talk to them. And that's about all we can do, I guess.
Thank you. Right? Given that rural counties are often affected by decisions made at the state level, how do you see Cherokee County having more input on these types of executive or legislative decisions?
First of all, we need to get more people involved on a local level. If that means holding more meetings like this, but we need to get more people involved locally. And then secondly, I think we need to work with the other counties comparable to our size here out in the rural areas to build a bigger network so we can have a little bit more say in what we can and can't do.
Thank you. Craig, given that rural counties are often affected by decisions made at the state level, how do you see Cherokee County having more input on these types of executive or legislative decisions?
I work as hard for Cherokee and Cherokee County outside of the county as I do inside. I'm currently appointed to the Legislative Commission, at which point 8 or 10 of us will, once a month, while Congress is in session, review the bills that are coming out of there and what's in the pipeline. We discuss them, we see how they would affect Northwest Iowa and Cherokee County, and then we get back in with the Randy Friedrichs and people of that nature. I was also a 2-time president of the Northwest Iowa League of Cities consortium of 80 cities that we sit down and discuss mutual situations. By being president, I was able to set the agenda, and along with that, I was able to invite. And after a while, some of these politicians got to understand that a business or an organization that represents 80 cities is worth talking to. We were able to get them to come in and sit down and have a discussion. And from that aspect of it, I think a few of them learned a lot more that there are people who could be active in Northwest Iowa and certainly affect possibly their outcome. So then my personal opinion of this whole thing is that it's just as easy to work outside and do well for the county. I know I've proven that it is.
Thank you. Chad, given that rural counties are often affected by decisions made at the state level, how do you see Cherokee County having more input on these types of executive or legislative decisions?
Rural counties have always been a low priority of some of the legislative sessions and things like that. It's great for us to invite our legislators here and have coffee and do that with them. But the best thing to do is get the people to call the legislators and talk to them. I mean, a lot of times on certain bills, they don't even hear from the constituents. I mean, it might only take 3 people to talk to them and say, hey, this is my side of the story. I mean, I want you to listen to me. And we all have to hold them accountable to who writes their paycheck.
Very good friend. And we've been able to have a total group of people that can see the impact of the numbers when they sit down to have a forum. The other part of it is it's a type of forum where the questions are being asked. We're not being lectured to. And so we get a lot of valuable information doing that. And for 50 or 60 people to travel to Des Moines, no. But for them to be able to sit right there in front of a politician, and the politician can see the value of their opinions. So I don't apologize for having these senators and representatives sit in front of a group of people that all have a common goal.
Okay, and Ray, you are actually the first here on this new question. So Ray, what is your definition of results for this position, and how are these measured and assessed?
Results, they're going to take a while. I think it would be, in this case, if I was elected, I would think that the results would be leaving this place in a better place than what I was elected on. Many different ways to do that. We have seven towns within our county, and I believe that we really need to include those small towns also, make them feel that they're part of our county. I know sometimes that there's some feelings that they're kind of just out there on their own, just left to kind of wither away. There's a few small towns. Larrabee is one of them that I grew up in. That I think that there's some feelings that they get left out. Cherokee is the county seat, and it seems like everything is aimed towards Cherokee, but this position is for the county. So speaking of that, we need to try to include all of our county partners in what we do.
Okay, thank you. And Craig, I will read the question again. What is your definition of results for this position, and how are these measured and assessed?
I would say that in order to get a measurement, you have to have your goals set out. These are our goals for this year. And now we have something, and it have to be measurable. If we say a 4% increase, that is our goal. As long as you have well-defined goals, you can set a game plan to go ahead and complete these goals. That's the other aspect of that is to have your team, the group of supervisors, all on the same board with this thing, that they are able to say we are making progress, we are going forward. Plus, you have to have a continual way of measuring where you are in relationship to each and every goal.
Okay, thank you. And we will ask the same question here. What is your definition, Chad, of results for this position, and how are these measured and assessed?
The results for this position, I guess as a city council person, to know if you're doing a good job or not, you can tell by how many people are sitting in the seats. That's a pretty good assessment. I think if you're doing a good job, you're not going to have people calling you 20 times a day complaining about different issues, and you're going to go into the courthouse and feel good when you come out. You're going to get good good service, and you're going to feel like your tax money is well spent. You're going to drive around the county, the roads are going to be in good shape, the parks are going to be in good shape, and there's a good mood. I mean, it seemed like in the community in Cherokee, we never really had a lot of people down and out on us. I mean, we'd have people that would come and express their concerns, and we respond to their concerns and do the best we can. You're not going to please everybody, and the people that come to the meetings aren't there as your friends. The people that are happy stay home, and the ones that are mad come visit you. So that's kind of my interpretation of if you're doing a good job or not.
Okay, thank you. We'll hand the microphone back down to Matt. Thank you, guys. Matt, I will do the question again. What is your definition of results for this position, and how are these measured and assessed?
Things don't change overnight. It takes time. And my goal isn't to come in and change anything or to boss people around. It's to observe, listen, be someone that, the employees can look up to, they can talk to, they can be around. I think improving the atmosphere of the county itself, starting with employees, because they are the ones that are face-to-face with the people of this county every day. And if they come to work happy, and if they leave work happy, then our customers, our community will be happy in return. So I think just continuing to take steps in the right direction, improving the overall well-being of everyone around us through all the towns that are part of our county in Cherokee is good enough.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Steph, I'll reread the question. What is your definition of results for this position, and how are they measured and assessed?
Results are happy constituents. But in how to measure and assess that, I think everybody has talked about money. Money is usually the root of most problems or lack thereof. So if we can come up with a way to increase our revenue, then we will be able to do more for our constituents as well as our employees. So I would say the increased revenue for the county.
Okay, thank you. Shane, what is your definition of results for this position, and how are they measured and assessed?
Good question that you put me next to the chairman currently right now, the Board of Supervisors. But the way I look at results is I feel, this is just me, that we need to, well, first of all, we work for not only the taxpayers of the Cherokee County, but we work for our county workers. So in certain terms of being assessed of how we're doing, I feel it's very imperative that we need to actually be, assessed throughout our departments and have feedback from every department manager on how we're doing. That's something that I would stand for, whether it's anonymous. We've talked on certain different things, build morale, money, and one thing. But we need to be accountable not only to the taxpayers, we need to hear more from them, but we also need to hear from our county employees. They're the ones that are in it day to day. And, there's a few other ideas that I have too. One question I'll ask and say is we're the only compensated board to a certain extent that meets during regular business hours. You got a school board member up here, you got a past city council member and the mayor. I mean, they meet after hours. I think those are certain things that we need to look into also to hear the voice from our taxpayers in Cherokee County. And I think that will actually give us better feedback on how we're assessed. Hope that makes sense.
Okay. Rick, what is your definition of results for this position, and how are these measured and assessed?
Well, the results, I guess you can kind of say, we're making decisions this last year with a room full of people, unhappy people on both sides of every issue. We sit down there and we try to listen to everything they say, and then we move on and make our votes. And some of the people are unhappy, and some are happy with the decision that we make. It's probably happened more times this last year than I would like to see, but everybody's more than welcome to come in and to the boardroom, because we have a time frame for the public to make their points to us, And that has really turned out well because we do get a lot of people in there now coming in and talk to us. I know at daytime it's kind of hard for them, and I know like Woodbury, I think they have theirs on at night. And I wouldn't be against doing that. There'll be more people interested in coming in and see the board meetings.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to pass the mic down to Craig. How do you see the Board of Supervisors keeping our existing county businesses and industries strong?
How do we keep it strong?
Our existing ones, yes.
Existing businesses that we currently have within the county. Well, certainly you can always work the tax structure of that. It seems to be kind of the TIF, working things of that nature in order to curtail their taxes for a while and then come back later and start to regather them. That seems to be certainly one of the ways that can stay there. We have our Arcadic group is very strong. They also can help to bring in any satellite industries that would complement those particular industries. It still goes back to the employees and getting them and having them come here to Cherokee. That becomes the best way to keep them. They want to be here. I can tell you that. We get calls all the time about people that companies that are interested in Cherokee County. So it's just a matter of providing the basics that they need. They will go. Lopez is a classic example. They are a wonderful corporate citizen for Cherokee. And just because they wanted to be here, they were able to get the space and also the employees to do so.
Thank you. Chad, how do you see the Board of Supervisors keeping our existing county businesses and industries strong?
The County Board of Supervisors contribute to economic development throughout the county and provide a liaison for all the business owners and to talk to about business issues. I think the county board really isn't in a position to go into businesses and tell them how to do their job, but I do think that we're there if they need help for something. I think that the amenities that the County Board of Supervisors provide, the parks, things like that, even the cities provide trails and opportunities for different things to do outside rather than leave. Those are good things that the county participates in. I don't know, not
Thank you. Matt, how do you see the Board of Supervisors keeping our existing county businesses and industries strong?
It's a very tough question. I'm not 100% sure how to answer that one. I think continuing on with, making decisions that help benefit businesses and not making it harder for them to thrive throughout the community. And again, it just comes back to the housing thing. People aren't going to come and build a multi-million-dollar business here because there's no one here to work the jobs. If the people don't have a place to live, they're not going to come and work at a job if they have to travel an hour and a half to get here. So it all kind of folds into the same thing of we need houses, we need more people coming in, but you need people.
Okay, thank you. Seth, how do you see the Board of Supervisors keeping our existing county businesses and industries strong?
Well, our communities and our county does offer a lot of amenities, and that's part of it. So quality of life is important, and the Board of Supervisors does have some power in decisions that they're able to make and things that they are able to do that directly influence our local standard of living. So I would say that as long as the board is making decisions that are keeping their employees happy and they're not doing things to increase their taxes, they should be healthy and able to stay.
Great. Shane, how do you see the Board of Supervisors keeping our existing county businesses and industries strong?
Well, first, this is where I look at things. The first thing you need to do is you need to go out and meet with the business owners. That's where it starts. I think there has to be accountability more on the supervisor's level, that we sit down and visit with these business owners to hear some of their concerns. We don't want to overstep with what we have going on with some of our other departments, whether it be economic development. But during my process, I've actually stepped out and met with some of the business owners, and some of them that are very vital to, I feel, Cherokee County, whether it be to the west, north, south, or east, west. I think that's where it starts. We have to be more proactive with sitting down with our business owners, hearing their thoughts, concerns, and then also working more collaboratively with economic development, which I'm not saying that they're not at this time, but really stressing the certain things that they're dealing with. So that would be my opinion.
Right. How do you see the Board of Supervisors keeping our existing county businesses and industries strong?
I think a big part of it is that we keep funding the economic development boards so that they can reach out to these businesses. If we need to help out in some way, we'll certainly look at it if we have any money left in the budget to do it. But I think that would be about it.
Right? How do you see the Board of Supervisors keeping our existing county businesses and industries strong?
By staying proactive. I know that they do have a lot of subcommittees that each supervisor has to take part in, and keeping the communication open. Everybody is aware of the situations that we are in with inflation and the housing, the shortages. But I think staying very active and communicating with our partners that we currently have and potential new businesses.
Okay, thank you. And Chad, you are now first on what will be our last question of the night. Time keeps it going. So we'll have this last question for everyone, and then our 2-minute wrap up for each candidate. Excuse me. As a candidate for county supervisor, is it possible that you could have any conflict of interest with your current job or position that might affect your vote on any county matters?
There's always opportunity for conflict of interest. I mean, we're a small community. A lot of employees of the community are very big business owners that do business with the community. There's always a chance of conflict of interest. There's also ethical ways to deal with it. And if a conflict of interest arises, you just have to let that be known. And then either abstain from voting, or if you don't think it's a reason to abstain, then to vote, and you have to live with your actions. I mean, that's how I feel.
Okay, thank you. And then Matt is next. Matt, I'll read the question again. As a candidate for county supervisor, is it possible that you could have any conflict of interest with your current job or position that might affect your vote on any county matters?
It's always possible to have those things where, life comes between a decision you have to make, and you just have to make that known and let people know where you stand. And if you have to refrain from taking that vote, then that's something you have to do. And like you said, it's something you have to live with. And I cut grass. So, I mean, there's not much conflict of interest that goes on with that I hope, So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Stephanie, I'll ask the question again. As a candidate for county supervisor, is it possible that you could have any conflict of interest with your current job or position that might affect your vote on any county matters?
As a realtor, personally, with my current job and a realtor and small business owner myself, I don't see how I would that way. However, I did mention earlier, my husband is an employee for the county, and so when it came to his wage, I would for sure abstain from voting on that. Outside of that particular matter, I don't see where I would have a conflict of interest.
Okay, thank you. Shane, I'll ask it again. As a candidate for county supervisor, is it possible that you could have any conflict of interest with your current job or position that might affect your vote on any county matters?
Great question. During this process, I don't know if many people know, but our supervisor's manual is 121 pages. I hope we can work to condense on that. Page 14 actually goes over the ethical side. To answer your question, there is one spot with what we do. Of course, we're the banks behind the banks. Of course, a lot of people, it's interesting how they don't understand it. Money starts in DC, go to Des Moines, then sends to your county, then goes down to City, pretty simple. I'm a strong supporter of local funds staying in community banks. That's what I'm for us keeping our local funds.
Question first, so now we go down to Matt for the last 2-minute wrap-up statement, and everyone will go down the line as well to kind of wrap things up. So, Matt, if you're ready, your 2 minutes.
Well, again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's been an honor speaking with you guys and answering the questions and getting to know people throughout the community throughout this whole process, and finding within myself to do some community speaking for the first time. So that's been great. I look forward to earning you guys' vote in the June primary. If I'm gracious enough to earn your guys' vote, I pray that I can do the job that you guys asked me to do to the best of my ability, and I'm drawing a blank here, sorry. Just work it to the best of my ability and continue to move Cherokee in the right, Cherokee County and all surrounding counties in the right direction, and hopefully do that well.
Okay, thank you very much. Stephanie Zark, closing statement.
Politics are local. And we find that out more and more often, especially as we see our state and our state government and how they are dictating to our local governments what we can spend money on and how much money we can spend on them. And I think that is something that everyone needs to take into consideration when they are voting, that politics are 100% local. So make sure that you know your people that you're voting for, and we have a great group of people, so we should be good as far as that goes. But I also would like to close and invite anyone to ask me any questions, or my phone number is 712-229-1854. It's very easily found on our Exit website, but I'm happy to answer anybody's questions or concerns moving forward.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Shane Belfire, 2 minutes.
Well, obviously, I am not taking this position lightly going through this process. I think, the biggest thing that I stand for, look for is, through this process, what we have going on, it's time to dig in. The difference between movement and motion, there's a lot of younger people out there, there's a lot of younger, some of us, and I'm not trying to discredit age or anything, but there's been comments on how much time we have, and I always say that with the difference between movement and motion. A lot of us have kids, and I think that's a great thing. I have the time, these guys have the time, it is a commitment, but with that commitment brings the results, as that was brought up. One thing I would do, and I would strive to do, is make sure that not only we're strong here with our businesses, our local taxpayers, but we're also strong on, again, being more proactive than reactive and waiting for things to come into Cherokee County. And that's one thing that, I would like to do, is leverage my past relationships that I have, not only that we have, but within our department heads, to make sure that we're giving them the best that they can be, so we can continue to build the best county within the state of Iowa.
Okay, thank you, and Rick Longman.
Well, I'd like to start out by reading a paragraph. I know everybody knows we've been dealing with those reform processors on some different things. And it went to the executive director and legal counsel of the Iowa Ethics Campaign Disclosure Board. And here's a paragraph that the judge wrote. I'd like to read it to you to really understand what kind of supervisors you got on board right now. The board asked him to communicate their gratitude to Cherokee County Board of Supervisors for their governmental body delays taking action to ensure they are following the law. So the due diligence in this matter is appreciated. We don't normally get anything like that from the state of Iowa, so I thought this was pretty special.
Okay. Thank you, Rick. And Ray, 2 minutes.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody here and listening online for attending the questions. Just want to say that I would be very thankful for the opportunity to serve on the board, get to know the other supervisors, and work diligently to come with the best possible outcomes as we can with all the issues that the board deals with. Look forward to working in the committees with the local industries here, building relationships, and helping Cherokee County grow. With that said, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ray. And Fred Schmidt.
Yes, one thing that you've never heard me say throughout this entire campaign is, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. The reality is, I've done it. I've done it for 7 years now. Most of you are well aware of the job I've done as mayor of Cherokee. In talking with supervisors, but also with those that are no longer serving on it, so two initial points came out. Number one, the time factor, and it is a factor. In fact, even Rick had mentioned it in his wonderful article that he had in the Chronicle Times about adjustments he had to make in his life in order to do the time necessary. I've also looked at the 4 committees that Dwayne was on. My children are gone. My children have moved there. They have their own lives going on. My personal business career, that's done now. My job would be to be your supervisor, day and night. No parent-teacher conferences, no football, basketball, track, whatever it might be. That's just the reality of it. Yeah, it would become my job and your representative. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Chad Brown.
In closing for me, I guess the most thought-provoking thing I was asked last week was, what is your agenda or what is your platform? I told them I don't have an agenda. I'm not going in here to grind an axe or anything else. My platform is I want to do the best I can for Cherokee County. I was raised here. I've enjoyed sitting on the city council. I love working for the parks. We have a lot of good things going on. I like these boards. I want my kids to come back here. My first one's just graduating college and we head back this spring to live here. And I have another one that's just graduating high school. I have a freshman in high school as well. I don't have as much time as Craig. Nobody does. But I will make sure that I spend enough time educating myself on all the issues that are brought before us. So I make an educated decision based on the facts, and I'll do my homework. I'm always involved on the boards I'm in, and I like working with other good people. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you so much, Chad. And that is going to wrap things up. How about a round of applause for every candidate out there? Great job answering all the questions. About a shout out as well to Bud on Main for having this. And our fine sponsors, Greenwood Schubert Funeral Home, Mondin Painting Company, Gustafson Realty, and North Star Community Credit Union, allowing this to be streamed online as well on Polar Digital Solutions. So, Aaron, from the Cherokee Chronicle Times, Aaron Reichman, great job tonight.
Thanks, and I just want to thank everybody who sent in questions. We got way more than we could have possibly fit into this event, and just thank you to everybody who participated, who came to listen. Just really great time tonight.
Absolutely right. She's Aaron. I'm Greg Slosky from Polar Digital Solutions and KCHE. Thank you guys all, and thanks to the sheriff's candidates as well. And I guess that is going to be a good night here from Mud on Main in Cherokee. So long, everyone.